2026. And I want to believe your day has been going really well. The political season is very much upon us, and of course it's coming in with the raining season. So I want to beg you, I want to appeal to you especially to try and make sure that you keep your environment as clean as possible, and make sure that you dispose your waste properly, so that we don't have repeated cases of flooding. And the consequences of that is always a major loss of properties and sometimes human lives, as we saw in many other states last year during the raining season. And of course, NIMET had continued to release early warnings to states that are prone to flooding. Lagos State, as expected, is also involved because of our coastal nature. But again, it's a pleasure to have you join us. The 2023 and 2027 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Prince Adewale Adebayo, would be my guest on the show today. And we're going to be looking at the burden of leadership and responsibility as the SDP prepares for the 2027 election. We'll talk about all of those on the show today. But before then, we're still hoping the protest in Ibadan and some other major cities in Nigeria in respect to the abducted 46 pupils and students and teachers from Ogbomosho in Oyo State enters day 2. And we're hoping and praying that things would get done, get those people back home safe and sound with their family. And just like I did yesterday, I'm not the type that beg politicians, because I can't remember the situation where a Nigerian politician had rope on his neck and was dragged out of his house to come and lead or preside or do anything. It's always a voluntary thing. Sometimes they'll tell you that, oh, it's a winner takes all, oh, they put everything on the line. Some of them get loans in the banks, and some of them sell their property, sell everything, get monies, crowdfunding, everything, just to get into political office. So if truly that is all you have to do and more to serve the people, then when you get in there, you should serve them, not them now serving you, not them becoming stooges under you, or not them becoming second-class citizens. The same people you begged to get into political office, you now got into political office and you became a god in your own space. So I always feel like politics, public office generally is an opportunity to serve, and you became the governor today doesn't mean you're the best or the most qualified. Fate, destiny, chance, time, all of these things may just falling in place for you, and then you find yourself. I'm sure former President Goodluck Jonathan would never have imagined that I was going to be the president of this country, when he was made the vice president, and then destiny, fate, anyhow it happened. Look at the governor of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. He got into office because his principal, the then governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, popularly known as Aketi, also died. Even the Yaya Bello situation in Kogi State, remember, Yaya Bello was not the governorship candidate of the APC. It was actually late Prince Audu, and his running mate was Honorable James Faleke, a member representing the Ikeja Federal Constituency. And on the day of the election, before the results were announced, at about 6 p.m., Prince Audu, the APC candidate, died. And because the court had made it clear that there were a lot of legal issues and interpretation, James Faleke went in to ask the court why it shouldn't be declared that both of them were on the ticket. And then the court made that pronouncement that, listen, the tickets, the vote belongs to the party and the candidate of the party, which is the governorship candidate. Then out of how it could happen, Yaya Bello became the governor, and then he did his 8 years. Governor Hope Uzodinma also didn't win his election in Imo State. In fact, I think he came 4th in that election. Now he's the chairman of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. He's the chairman of the APC Progressive Governors Forum. Is serving his 2nd term as a governor, and has already won the tickets to represent his senatorial seat in the 11th assembly. So fate always happens to people, but the message in all of that is, when you find that opportunity, when you get to that place, don't forget that you made commitment to people. And there's a reason why the drafters of the Nigerian Constitution made it very clear that your principal responsibility at every level as a government, whether the federal, state, or local government, is to see to the safety first and the welfare of the people. There's a reason they made safety the priority of every government. And then when you look at how many Nigerians that have died in the last almost 18 years that we've been dealing with banditry, it started with Boko Haram, to banditry, to cattle rustling, to herders and farmers clashes, and then kidnapping, and now become the order of the day. And so I'm actually sending a special SOS to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, I said the same yesterday, and I'm glad he was in Lagos, and I'm sure somebody somewhere may have listened yesterday. And I'm still here again to beg you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's now 18 days that those kids and their teachers have been abducted in Oyo State. I'm not going to sit here and say the government is not doing anything to get those kids back, but a lot more needs to be done. Human lives, there are 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. There's a grandmother, 3 grandchildren, and her daughter-in-law were also abducted. It's been a very traumatic moment, especially for the people that have seen firsthand how bandits usually or kidnappers treat their victims. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we beg you. There's a huge reputation that followed you before the 2023 election. Oh, the architect of modern Lagos. Oh, the leader. Oh, the political jagaban, the maverick. He's a strategist. He knows how to get things done. But if you are failing in your biggest responsibility of protecting the people, then we have a lot to worry about. Yesterday, the Borno State chapter coordinator of the Middle Belt Vanguard, was my guest on the show yesterday, coming tomorrow from Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. And he said, listen, the people that were abducted at the same time that the abduction in Ibadan, in Oyo State happened, they've also not been released. Probably because the Southwest controls the media narrative, and then everyone seems to be escalating and blowing things and the entire world is now listening to what is going on right there. But there are hundreds of other people in Maiduguri, in Zamfara, in Kwara State, in Kwara State, that have also been abducted. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for posterity to judge us and judge us right, we need to have all of those that are abducted at the moment, every one of them released. There is no justification whatsoever for non-state actors to be so powerful. And I would always say it, no group, no company, no individual can be more powerful than the government. That's why they say after God, it is the government. And now the government seems to be failing in that responsibility, and Nigerians are now resorting to self-help and prayers in replacing the responsibilities that you should do. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's a clarion call, a special SOS, not just the kids in Oyo State, the ones in Borno, the ones in Plateau, the ones in Zamfara, the ones in Yobe, the ones in Kebbi, the ones in Niger State, the ones in Kaduna, every single one, every single Nigerian that is currently abducted today. We beg you to please do everything within your power. As the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, my friend would always say, the Nigerian president presides over the seen and the unseen forces. Yes, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for posterity to judge us right, you specifically, please do everything within your power to get every single Nigerian that is in any kidnappers den out, and please make sure none of them get kidnapped ever again. Let's take a short break. Would I have a guest? Prince Adewale Adebayo would be my guest on the show today. He was the 2023 presidential candidate of the SDP, and is also going to be the 2027 presidential candidate of the same party. Stay with us. thank you very much for staying with us. We're trying to connect with our guests, the 2023 and now 2027 presidential candidate of the SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo, is a philanthropist, a lawyer, and of course a politician. He's been with us, I think, over a year ago. And then if you followed him for a while, you know that he's someone that is always there in the media, speaking truth to power at every given opportunity. And I'm sure that by the time we're done with the conversation, it would also open the phone lines, by the way, where you can also join us. And then we take questions and contributions, and then we see how far we can go. But more than anything else, we need to make sure that every single Nigerian, like I said, that is in any of the kidnappers den at the moment, young or old, Christian or Muslim, rich or poor, tall or short, as long as you identify with this sovereign entity called Nigeria, you deserve to be safe. You deserve to be able to move from point A to point B. You deserve to be able to have a conversation with your family members without fear of, being abducted. These days, somebody said if you are traveling and then you mistakenly, something happens to your phone, or your number could not connect, or your battery goes off, and then your family members are trying to reach you, it's a problem. And that's why we are saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, your biggest responsibility is to get the people back, is to get the Nigerians safe, to make sure that every space you turn to, everyone is safe. So we're trying to link up with our guests, and I just hope this isn't another network issue right now. Okay. Okay, maybe we need to go on a very short break again. When we come back, I'm sure we'll have been able to connect your live from Milan 98.3 FM. Your messages are pouring in already. But we're not doing open mic today. We have a guest, and we'll try and link up with him. Just stay with us. Okay, good evening to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us. First off, let me apologize for the earlier, break in communication. I thought it was always the way we usually run it. Good to have you join us on the show today, Prince Adewale Adebayo.
Thank you. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
And God bless you too always. To start with, maybe we should just put it on an open space. In 2022, that was the first time I had a lengthy conversation with you around your operation within the media, your philanthropic activities and all of that. You were the presidential candidate of your party, the SDP, a party you joined, and you've never left the party, by the way. I was reading through one of your profiles, and I was like, okay, this is some good consistency. Now, 2027, you're also going to be flying the flag of the same party. What has changed between 2023 and 2027 for you that could help you get better with the numbers and the polls in 2027 election? Let's start from them.
Well, the election is about the people. It's the people that are making the choice, and it is the consciousness of the people that would indicate how the people are going to vote. What I think has been is that everything we predicted that will happen 4 years ago has come to pass. The suffering, the insecurity, the neglect, and the realization on the part of the people that they have no government looking after them. So it's our hope that the consciousness of the people will keep, that they will not just stop at blaming the government, that they will actually look forward and say, well, we will have put a different person in power, and it's not too late to put a different person in power. And if we want to put someone in power now, we have to put someone who is looking at our interest. So that is what we are expecting to work with Nigerian people on. Elections have consequences. Elections are not just popularity contests. It's not Big Brother Africa. It's not whether you are supporting Arsenal or PSG or Man U. Election is about whether you live or die, whether your community is safe or not, whether you feed or you don't feed, and whether you are able to make progress in your generation or not, whether you want to flee away from your country or you want to stay inside and prosper. So those are the things you discuss in elections, and those are the things you decide where you vote. So that's what has changed.
Thank you very much. You've been within the SDP for about 19 years now, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, you've actually...
I was 19 years old when I joined.
You joined the party, exactly. And you've been there for...
I've been SDP for 35 years.
35 years. So, I mean, when the coalition came up in October 2025, was there ever a time... you felt like, listen, we have a government that is an absolute control of both the National Assembly, that's the red and the green chamber, with over 30 governors now. Was there ever a time you got into that conversation, or the leadership of your party got into that conversation of belonging to the coalition?
You see, there is already a coalition created in the Constitution. And that coalition is the majority of Nigerians who choose the government. A majority of Nigerians are the young people, are the downtrodden, and that's the coalition that we think will be joined. This association of unsatisfied politicians who have nothing in common with the common people, who have nothing in common with the suffering masses, who don't want to hear the opinion of the youth, who are just people who are transacted with President Tinubu in the past, and feel like President Tinubu has not satisfied them, and they now want to come and make a revenge. I knew they would not last, and there was no time to waste time with them. And as you can see now, majority of them are gone asunder. So that is why we didn't bother ourselves about that. We want Nigerian people to rally around the agreement we had in the Constitution, contained in Chapter 2 of the Constitution, fundamental objective and directive principle of state policy, on how we want to organize ourselves to government. So the people you find in government, Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan, Muhammadu Buhari, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are there on the agreement of the people that we will form a government, and that government will utilize our resources to cater to our security, our welfare, and allow us to have a democracy to express our opinion and decisions, and that we will practice social justice, that one man will not eat in excess, another one will go to bed hungry, that one person will not be living in palatial mansion, home and abroad, and the rest will be living in Otodogbame or in Lìkàtẹ́ or somewhere, and they can't pay their rent. Exactly, and that we will educate our children so that the children with the best talents are the ones who will come tops. Not that some people can take their children abroad to school while majority of school will be shut down. And that we will be secure in our community. Not that 3,000 soldiers will be guarding one person because the governor. And then the rest will be left to be kidnapped and beheaded and killed in the bushes. So, and that there will be employment, and that the businessmen in Nigeria will compete. And the one with the best custom, the best products, the best pricing, will make the best profits. But now, only a few who are sponsoring politicians are commanding the entire economy, and they will not create jobs. And your banks will not produce bankers who can be rich while you, the customer, are poor. That a bank will be a place where business people, salary earners, other people will keep money, and the bank will do your work for you and take a little commission. Not now when the bankers are in charge of the bank themselves. So, if we understand all of this, and that the army should not be an occupation force the way it was in the British time, that the army will be young people growing up in the community to defend their own community, not an internal neo-colonial force that will decide who lives or who does not live, decide which community to protect, which other to protect, and that will produce generals who are wealthy businessmen that are capable of protecting their own community. So this is what I stated. If the Nigerian people shift their consciousness to these issues, they won't follow any of these coalition people, noise-maker, ethnicists. Anybody who comes to you and says the son of the Igbo, is the son of the East, is the son of the North, is the son of Christian, son of Muslim, you know that he is not telling you what is in the Constitution, and they are coming to deceive you. So once people know that, then the Constitution will change and the election result will be different. I will form the government, I will take care of our problems.
Thank you very much. A couple of months back, I think over a year now, thereabout, I had a conversation with you, and one of the things I asked you was that Do you think this administration, well, it was just 2 years old then, the administration clocked 3 years old last week Friday, just a few days ago, and that's the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I asked you the last time we had this conversation that what would you do differently in tackling the security challenges we have in the country? If you check the 1999 constitution as amended, the rules are very clear, the provisions are very clear. The principal responsibility of every government at every level, that means federal, state and local government, is to see to the safety first. There's a reason the drafters put safety before any other thing, of lives and properties of the people. But look at it, from Ilorin to Ondo, from Ekiti to Borno, from Oyo to Sokoto, from Katsina to Kebbi, the lives of Nigerians don't feel safe. Nigerians are getting abducted, getting kidnapped, traded for money. Sometimes you don't even get your family members back even after paying the ransom. Where exactly are we in terms of the security of Nigerians, especially as we prepare to go into the new election cycle? A lot of people have said, oh, the security situation is politicized. The former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, was on national TV yesterday, and he talked about the fact that, oh, the Oyo State government, all of the kidnapping was to discredit the administration of President Tinubu. There's been a lot of theories and conversation around the safety of these people. But if you look at the list, the most unfortunate is that we have 2-year-old kids, 4-year-old kids, we have children, 3 of them from the same family, that have been in kidnappers' den for almost 17 days now, if I'm not mistaken. How did we get to where we are right now? And is there any hope in sight for average Nigerian that does not enjoy the luxury of VIP treatment and protection like the political class does?
You see, let us not pretend as if we don't know our problem. We don't have a government in the way our forefathers envisaged the government to be. A government is a caretaker of the people. A government is a protector of the people. Anybody who is in politics is supposed to go there only because of his love and care for his community. It is a person who should have gone past looking after themselves. They want the society to be better. Now, we know we don't have such a government. So the first thing we need to do is to look for ways to find such a government for our health. The door of prosperity has been shut. Good governance is the only key to open it. So there's no point sitting outside the door of prosperity, yelling and wailing and lamenting. You have to join effort to put a good government in place. And that good government will not come by any other means than by focusing queuing up behind a good party and a good person and escorting that person to the power. And all other things is hypocrisy. You are carrying over Oyo. Do you know what is in stock tomorrow? What of Yᴏᴜᴜᴜ? What of Plateau State where I went? What of Benue where I went? What of Kaduna? There are more kidnappings that have not made the news. In many parts of the country, I receive daily reports.
True.
So let us not pretend as if we don't know the solution. The solution is within our reach. But if we keep pretending that we can magically have solution without changing those who are in government, without retiring majority of the politicians, without changing the consciousness of the voter and getting the voter to change the topic. You are discussing with me now look at the language, look at the music, look at the content. Go and listen to morning shows on TV. They are clowning around, they are discussing personality, they are discussing former governor, they are discussing FCC minister, they are just laughing. They are forming fans club around people who have not come out to speak squarely to the problem that we are facing and to show that they have solutions. So that is why I'm letting Nigeria know that the way we lay our bed,
is the way
that's how we lie on the bed. And there's no point to pretend as if, oh, suddenly this bed that we refuse to lay, why is the bed rough?
It's exactly how we left it.
Exactly. So like, even now, the voters are still joking, playing around, and they will weeping. The once that episode of weeping goes away, many of these shouting about the children in Oyo, some of them are being done for politics. Just okay now, because Tinubu and APC and Buhari did it to embarrass Jonathan last time. They will bring back our girls, keep up girls and whatever. So some people in politics now say, okay, if we raise this one up, maybe we embarrass Tinubu. But the real problem is that Tinubu needs to go, and the people need to be wise in their choice of the next government, because you need to pinpoint what the person needs to do to reorganize the security architecture in Nigeria, to limit the number of selfish people who are having access to government officials, to orientate the police, orientate the DSS, civil defense, to the armed forces, and to ensure that the communities themselves are in charge of their own security, and that the soldiers, airmen, naval rating officers, police come from the community and stay within their community to protect their community. And that all the abominations that we call government, corruption, government people also becoming contractors, money laundering, hiding money politics, all of these things comes to an end. And that people who work in the security services, they can rely squarely and solely on their salary. You cannot have a country where you call a policeman, a sergeant, an inspector, a corporal, a superintendent, you lock them in a room and say, show me your payslip. Okay, from this money on your payslip, how do you buy food? How do you pay for accommodation? How do you pay for your children? How do you pay for health care? There is no single policeman, soldier, Air Force man, airman, naval rating, DSS that can pass this test. We have a criminalized, officially criminalized police, army, navy, air force, civil defense, DSS. Because the government that is saying come and protect the people knows that their salary cannot feed them. That they are collecting bribes, they are collecting compromise, and they are colluding to survive. And our civil servants cannot survive on their pay. So we need to restore honesty back to government. And the honesty to be in government, the honesty has to be with the people themselves. They need to understand politics, and they need to vote honestly, and they need to support people who will solve their problem. As long as you are not ready to support people who are going to solve your problem, you will die, and your problem will outlive you. And your children and grandchildren will have the same problem. Until you decide to put a government in place that will solve the problem.
Okay. You talked about the fact that you've been a member of the SDP for about 35 years or thereabouts. It looks like it's a trait that is really scarce these days. People holding on to their belief or social message around a political party. So issues around ideology barely exist within Nigeria's political space. I always make a joke that in Nigeria, you can actually eat breakfast in the APC, eat lunch in the PDP, and enjoy a sumptuous dinner in the Labour Party. That is how quick our politicians love to jump around. What has kept you on this same ideology of social democratic principles for that long?
I didn't join politics for my own sake. I joined politics to change my society. And the set of ideas with which to change society are contained in Chapter 2 of the Constitution, Fundamental Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy. And they were promulgated in 1979 and put in the 1999 Constitution. So when SDP was created in 1989, these manifestos were derived from that Chapter 2. And I was 19 years old at Bishop Street in Lukwoju, Lagos, when I joined the party, 1991. And those ideals are still there. And everybody interact with in politics. It is the person who will join me in mobilizing Nigerians for us to look at this Chapter 2 and form a government of humble people, honest people, who are selfless people, who just want to come and serve. So personally, I don't expect to make money out of politics. I don't expect to get business out of politics. I'm not desperately looking for position in politics. I'm okay personally. I just want a better society for my country. So this party platform works for me. And there's no other political party that comes close to what we believe. They are just places where people go if they are looking for position. So when we finish the last semester, if we don't have these principles, I will have gone to APC to become a minister. And because of those who will defend it, will be defensible now, talking nonsense. I can't do that. And if it's about trying to make money back, then I will join anybody who is available to take me to the next level. So that's why I remain where I am, because this is where the solution to the problem is. This is where we are going to solve the problem. So it's better for me to be waiting for Nigerians to do all the wrong options. They will all turn around and meet me where I'm waiting for them in LPP.
Okay, so let's talk about
the hungriest people, the most wretched people are the APC members. They are the ones who wake up in the morning begging for money, at 6 a.m. your mandate will start in the evening. And the next morning they can't pay their children's school fees. So until they realize that government is not about committing suicide. Politics is about putting people who are going to take care of you in charge of your affairs, especially for a country like Nigeria that is spending money daily. Just before you call me, I was receiving reports and checking how much money Nigeria has made out of the crisis in Iran. We have made enough money to take care of half of the countries in West Africa. Just half of the crisis in Iran. But all this money disappears. Why?
Okay. Let's look at where we are as a people. You made mention of the fact that you made little reference at that time as regards laying the bed. Prince Adewale Adebayo, Nigerians are tired. And somebody made a very passive comment on one of the social media platform a few days ago that we may experience even lower voter turnout than we did in 2023, which is quite uncomfortable with me, because if we have a voter register that was about 100 million according to INEC, and we had less than 30 million people coming out to vote, and then people are already expressing fear that things could get worse in terms of how the Nigerians are not motivated, how the people are not seeing the effort of the government to do things properly. What do we need to do between now and then? I had to speak to Nigerians on the need for them to get involved in who leads them.
Look, how can you not be interested in your affairs because the caretaker who you have the power to vote out is mismanaging your property? It is that anger, that righteous anger, that dissatisfaction, that desperation that should make you to come out. President Tinubu has shown that they can't do it well. And many of the politicians hanging around have shown from past opportunities that they are not good enough. So you need a new person, a new system. So if you say I'm angry, I won't turn out to vote, you are only killing yourself. Because if you don't turn out to vote, the few that come out and collect money and vote, they will put the same badge coming on top of your head, and this not coming out to vote will not come out to cry. So it is better for Nigerians to go and register now and to have a good listening ear and listen to the problem and the solutions, and then you gather your community together and follow the candidate and the party that you believe has understood the problem, explain it to you very well, and you believe that they will solve the problem. After that, you go and wash your hand and wait. And then you get engaged in what government is doing. But if you say, me, I'm not, you're not hurting the politician. The prayer of the politician is that you will not come and vote. Because politicians hate election. The election is a risk for a politician. So if you don't come and vote, they will be happy. They will settle among themselves. And they will continue to mismanage their affairs.
It's tough going up every day, especially with the security challenges that we are facing in this country. And the president made certain promises. Electricity was part of them. The conversation around, even if the petrol goes to 200, 500, we'll bring it down. The last time I checked, yes, there are issues around the Middle East and all of that. But in Nigeria, we're buying petrol. The last I bought was 1,330 naira Prince Adewale Adebayo. If election is to be held today, and you being a member of the opposition party, what would your campaign strategies be?
It is truth. Don't be desperate, be determined. Tell the people the truth. Let them use their hand to lay their own bed. I'm coming now after campaigning 4 years ago, and everything I said has come to pass. The ideas that I espouse are the ideas we have to follow. There is no other way to solve the problem of Nigeria than to vote LPP and to let me go and solve this problem. But I will continue talking. The only regret I can have is if I didn't campaign enough, because after the election, many people will meet me, I didn't know you at that time. I didn't know, oh my God. So that's really guilt I have. That is why you see me on every show going around the country. Despite the state of insecurity, the places I go in Nigeria, President Tinubu dare not go there. He dare not dream of it. He cannot. He He dare not. So I challenge him. He cannot even dream of those places. With all the Army, Air Force, Navy, Civil Defense, BSS, President Tinubu cannot, his leg will shake. All the places where I go, he cannot even go near. So, we need to carry this message to all Nigerians. On election day, I will go to my house and after voting, I will be smiling. Because I know I have preached the gospel to every living Nigerian. I have taken to every household, every hamlet, every village, every town, every city, every local government, every district, every state, every zone, and throughout the federation. Once I have taken this message across, I'm at peace. Because how we lay our bed is how we do. We cannot cheat nature. You cannot plant cassava for the nation day.
Pineapple.
Yes, in the government. So it is your choice. So, but don't say I didn't know. The reason why we are fighting, go to Supreme Court, wherever we are fighting, is not because I am a personal enemy of President Tinubu. It is because I want Nigerians to not say there is no alternative. I have given you the alternative. So you know that you use your own hand to define your future by yourself.
How much?
Why coming to me to cry that you cannot pay school fees? Why cry to me that you have surgery to do in the hospital, no money? When I gave you a platform for free education,
you didn't
free health care, you rejected it. You went and collected money or allow the religious or ethnic sentiment or paparazzi, or you follow the crowd, and you now lost out. You can get a government that works for you now. You just need to be ready for it. Before you can have a good government, you have to be a good citizen. And if you are not a good citizen, you don't vote well, you don't deserve a good life. Because that is how it's written in the book. You make your choice.
Prince Adewale, how key would tackling corruption be for you, if you, according to how hopeful you are, if your government, if your party forms the government after the 2027 election, how important would be the issue of tackling corruption? How much attention would you be paying to that?
Let me tell you, all this issue of fighting corruption is just a lie. The people who are corrupt are people in government. Even if you are a corrupt citizen, sitting in your house as a Ojolegba with no job, where are you going to do your corruption? Corruption is done in Nigeria by the government. So the way to fight government, to fight you, is to fight corruption, to fight the government. When you are elected as president, the only person who comes with you is your vice president. Even that vice president, it was your own hand. You used to choose the vice president. Every other thief, whether a minister, secretary of the government, a foreign secretary, they are all chosen by the president. And a president who is in Nigeria, who is not corrupt, we know who to choose. He will not choose corrupt people. But what we are having is a pyramid of corruption, on top of which the president is the chief corrupt man himself. But when you have a government where the president is not corrupt, nobody will dare it. Because the president doesn't need to wait for EFCC. The president doesn't need to wait for any entity. The president has to do corrupt. The president will dismiss you and will order your arrest. It is only a citizen who will see a corrupt person and then write a petition to EFCC. If you are the president, you don't need that. You pass a corrupt minister, you disgrace him in public there, you send him to be arrested and they prosecute him right away. They only do that if they are not your agents collecting the bribe, pulling the money on your behalf. If you know how difficult and complex it is to collect government money, if you are a student or you are a worker, see how complicated it is for you to get a salary or bursary. Government money is not easy to collect. So when you have these billions, all these billions, all of them have come together to get the money out and share it. So there is no president that can tell you that there are corrupt people in the government that are not corrupt, is lying to you. And there is no government that can tell you that it is very hard to fight corruption, is lying to you. All the president needs to do is not to be corrupt himself and not to hire corrupt people. You cannot force yourself into government. The people in government have to appoint you. And they have to check your background before they appoint you. The president of Nigeria know how much is in the account balance of everybody in Nigeria, if you want to. President Tinubu can sit down in Agbovila and know how much you sent to your wife last week. He can know how much is in your balance. He can know all the property you have. So before appointing you, he has enough information about you. And every day, if 10 kobo enters your account, enter the account of your relatives, your wife, your children, the president will know. If he is interested to know. So don't let anybody deceive you. They are all in it together. So all I will do in my own is to make sure I am not in it with them, I am not part of them, and I'm not going to work with them. That is why my politics is different. That's why I'm not forming coalition with them now. Because I know that if I form coalition with them, I will enter government to continue their own way and they will win my career for me.
Okay, if you're just joining us, I've been speaking with Prince Adewale Adebayo, the 2027 presidential candidate of the SDP. He was also the presidential candidate of the same party, a party he's been a member of for about 35 years. On the 2023 ballot, he was there, ran against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And after the nationwide process of the primaries from his political party, he was unanimously picked as the presidential candidate of the party. We've looked at issues and concerns of security and where we are as a people. So if you're just joining us, I say you're welcome again. Let's talk about state police, Prince Adewale Adebayo. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, in fact, build up to the 2023 election, he made it clear that the decentralization of the police structure is of great priority to him. But 3 years down the line, people are still getting killed. It seems that we're not exactly sure where the direction of the state police is going. At some point, there were reports that certain governors were against it. Later, it is said the governors are in support of it. The president of the Senate said it a few days ago that they are committed to establishing and fully bringing state police to operation. What is your take on state police, especially with the current security realities that we have on ground? If you happen to form the government, would you go with the establishment of state police or you do things differently?
Let me tell you that state police is not a complicated issue. It is only complicated by politics. It is a very simple principle. Any level of government that can make laws should have the police to enforce their own law. Lagos State House of Assembly, sitting at Alausa in Nigeria, passed a law that everybody who commits rape will get life imprisonment. Why should they not have the power to get the police to go arrest rapists? Lagos Ogun State passes a law that anybody kidnaps anybody will get life sentence. Why will Ogun State not have the power to go and catch the kidnapper? Other things to lure the governors to come and join his party and be singing that horrible anthem on your mandate we shall whatever. So he's not ready to do it for the people. He's taking advantage of it that okay, these are the powers I have. Power to allocate some money to the state, power to amend some part of the constitution and give them some power, but I will not do it until I'm sure that they are coming to support me. So he's using that as a bait instead of to remember that this will help the people. So we need to have this simple constitutional understanding that if a local government can pass a law against littering the neighborhood, against dirtying up the market, that Cᴏsᴏ local government should be able to have a police force that can enforce the market rules, sanitation rules. So otherwise, the power to make law is meaningless if there is no power to enforce the law. And it will render everybody completely useless no matter what position they enter. I was in, when I went to Oyo last week to sympathize with the victims and to give some support to the governor and the government of Oyo State. The governor was lamenting to me, I was even more powerful than him. Because he was in a powerless state. He couldn't get intelligence by himself because he had no intelligence apparatus. He couldn't command any, he only had Amatekun. And Amatekun's gun can only shoot about 100 meters. The kidnappers surrounded themselves with bombs and they have a gun that can shoot 1.2 kilometers away. So if you are Amatekun going to arrest these useless kidnappers, by the time you are 1 kilometer away, they are already killing you.
They are gone.
So, and the bigger guns are in the hand of the mobile police under Tinubu, and that the really big guns are in the hand of the armed forces under Tinubu, and Tinubu is too distracted, too consumed by politics and business to pay attention to what is happening. So is it not better to confine all of this and let the state government to be able to do it? Even when I come in, I'm going to reorganize the Nigerian forces. Because Nigerian armed forces, they remain the colonial armed forces we had before. The only difference was that when Welby was leaving, they handed over to Aᴅᴇᴏ. Aᴅᴇᴏ was killed, they handed over to Gawad. And then all the way down, we did not change the composition of the army. The army of Nigeria was an occupational force set up by the British to force Nigerians down. It was not the army of the people. And all of these years, we have not been able to raise an army that comes from within the people. And every soldier is mostly a stranger. You go to Osogbo at a depot and recruit young men, you take them for training, later they go to Zaria for training, and then you post them to Maiduguri. They have no relationship with people in Maiduguri. They have no sense of community. They have no barracks there. They don't have interaction with the people. They don't know what the people want. They have no knowledge of the people. Or you post a brigade commander on top of their head, and one night they call them, come out, let's go to the bushes. let's go and pass kidnappers. They have no sense of community. They have no sense of involvement. They don't even know what operation they are doing. Then next day, he pulls them to Navy to come and fight IPOB. They don't know the meaning of IPOB. They don't know the beginning. They don't know the end. Then next time, he pulls them to Niger Delta to go and fight oil bonfire. Then next week, he take them to go to Savannah to go and fight illegal miners and Lakurawa. There is no proper orientation. So we need an army that is part of the community, that understands the challenges of the community, that is arising from that community, and they know that we are protecting our people, our community. We are not just a separate breed of Nigerians who are sent out when they are troublemakers.
Okay, thank you very much. I would start wrapping up the conversation so that we can allow the people to also join us. Let's talk about the integrity of the election. It is something very, very important, especially the conversation around the leadership of INEC, the expectations in terms of security and all of that. Are you confident going into the election, because you are going to be participating in that election, not as a voter? I mean, you're also voting, but then you're also going to be on the ballot and seeking political office to be the president. So the integrity of INEC had been called into question a lot of times. The controversy around the appointment of Professor Josh Amupiton, a lot of calls around, oh, he should be replaced, this and that. Are you confident in the possibility of INEC giving us a free, fair and credible election in 2027, Prince Adewale?
INEC will not give you free, fair or credible election. Let me repeat, INEC will not give you free, fair and credible election. Let me even say it another way. INEC does not want to give you free, fair and credible election. And let me put it another way. INEC does not have the capacity to give you free, fair and credible election. And let me conclude and say INEC does not have the mindset. And they are not preparing to give you free, fair and credible election. INEC is like a vehicle you have that you know is due overheating. But the only vehicle you have. And you want to go from Lagos to Ibadan. So you know that every kilometer you will stop and pour water inside the radiator. So you already know that you will successfully get to Ibadan, even though you will spend 7 hours instead of 1 hour. But you will get there yourself. You know that this vehicle is overheating, it cannot go to Ibadan. But it's the only vehicle you have. So you will stop and put water, you drive, when you get to redeem camp, you pay over it and put more water. You keep going like that, go like that. When you get to Guru Maharaj, you do sign there, you also put water. Until you get to challenge.
When you get after to, that, maybe when you get to toll gates, you do little top up as well.
Exactly. Eventually, if you manage to get to challenge, you switch off the engine and track the rest. So that is how INEC is, because the way we wanted to do it, when my late friend, God bless his Oyaradua, after winning the election, I was his lawyer. We came to the conclusion that this new election is a mess, and set up a panel under Justice Uwais, Lawal Uwais. And Yaradua said, I will be the president who will not choose INEC chairman again. I will be him. I will not choose. After this Morris Iwu, the next INEC chairman will not be chosen by me. The INEC chairman will be chosen by Nigerian people. INEC as a whole will be outside government control. The report was submitted. Yaradua died. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was president. Namadi Sambo was vice president. Mark Achilenu, David Achilenu Mark was Senate president. And they took this into national, and Tambua
was the speaker.
They took it to National Assembly they threw it away. Jonathan was not interested. He was interested in choosing INEC chairman. David Mark threw the whole thing away. We reminded him. He threw it away. Same thing with Aminu Tambuwa. So what has happened? They decided to go and mess up that opportunity. Some of them are now in opposition and crying the crocodile tears. So this INEC you see now, if you are getting angry with Tᴏɪᴜnᴛᴇʀ and you say they should put another person, who will bring the other person? It's the same person Tinubu that will bring the other person. It's the same Power and Go National Assembly that will still pass the same person. And if you understand Tᴏɪᴜnᴛᴇʀ very well, they are intimidating you, they are bullying him. Many of the things he is doing, he doesn't want to do them. They are forcing him to do them. So, what the only solution to INEC is for Nigerians themselves to be interested in the election. And to be interested in what INEC does. So that the pressure on INEC is not just coming from the government alone. The pressure from INEC is coming also from the people. That if INEC makes one decision, the people will go and show INEC, will go there. INEC will see what you are doing, we don't like it. That way, those 11 commissioners in INEC, I know them by name, I know them by face, I know them one by one. Each of them is tired, but they are like prisoners, and they are sitting down there. So, if they wanted to give you free, fair, and credible election, they don't know how to do it. They are overwhelmed by government. So it's only the people that can intimidate the government, that can remind the government that you are a servant. Five of them are coming to vote for somebody of their village or their tribe, whether it's an idiot or otherwise, they don't care. It's my town man or the president or governor. That is where the problem lies. And we are talking about INEC. What of police? Police even have more role to play than INEC sometimes. They will determine whether you go there or you don't go there. Did you hear, see? There. We managed to survive and do our convention. But Tinubu went and organized a fake NCP convention with non-NCP members and gave them 300 policemen, 100 and something soldiers, civil defense, DSS, and all that nonsense. When it came to PDP, the fashion of PDP don't want. Wike says is the protector of Abuja. They brought soldiers, they blocked the whole street. They don't allow them to go and do their primary. So what I'm letting you know is that are these policemen, are they not Nigerians? This IGP that is there now, is he not a Nigerian? A person who left the position now, is he not back to his Ogun State and Lagos State as a Nigerian citizen? Anyone Disu, who's the IGP today, is not just an ordinary Nigerian. So, who just wear uniform and command the police? Will you not think about I, Olatunji Rewano Disu? I was born by a father and mother in Nigeria. And this is my country, and my children and grandchildren will build this country. Am I going to follow one man who has a political ambition, or am I going to do the right thing? It is for Nigerians to remind them. This is what we need to do. If we do it, we can manage to get a reasonable election. But if they rely on INEC as they are, INEC is highly intimidated and they can't do anything.
Well, thank you very much. As we wrap up the conversation, the issue of structure and grassroots engagement and commitment from your party. I mean, we have a ruling party that at the moment has about 32 governors. Even those that are not in their political party, the governors of Osun and Abia and Anambra that promised that we'll work for the president's second term. The National Assembly, 109 senators, about 88 of them are already within the APC. The House of Reps, out of 360, about 285 of them, the ministers, the entire political structure. How much work do you think your party, the SDP, needs to do to drive the message down across the over 8,000 wards, over 180,000 polling units across the 774 local government and the 36 state and the FCT? How much time do you think you have, and of course the leadership of your party, to spread the message of SDP down to the the corners of this country ahead of the election? Hello?
It's a good job. It's not an easy job, but it's a necessary job. Anybody who can't do it, you don't deserve to be president. Because 8,809 words, there are people inside it. You are talking to people to act within their word. 176,849 polling units. Everybody is acting within his own polling unit. These governors are not going to go to every polling unit. These governors don't know anybody. They are rich people or poor people who have become rich. And they are all sitting down, frowning around themselves, enjoying their money. They don't have access to, if you are not in government. At the same time, you are not close to the grassroots. What is the opposition about? Opposition that is not in power with people in government, at the same time not connected to the people, is nowhere. So the only thing we have are the people. So we go to the people, we are doing that, and we go around. Part of this engagement with you now is, first, I have a lot of. But more importantly, I want Nigeria to hear the message. That's why we're doing this engagement. And what we are saying now is not lost on the people. So it's now left to them. You remember that the Constitution allows you to vote in privacy. So you go at a corner, it's between you and your God and your shadow and your conscience. You vote who you like. So you cannot say, governor intimidated me, a senator intimidated. No, it is your choice, because you go to where you need to vote. And if you are 500 registered voters in your estate, and on that morning of the election you are jogging around your estate, listening to radio, you see at the election day as another holiday. Don't come and complain to me later. So we will go around the country, we will go around, and we are seeing that people are responding. President Tinubu will still have his own diehard who will vote for him. If they are right. All these people on social media shouting that, they will have their own people who will vote for them. No problem. But the people who believe that we need good government, and that it is contained in chapter 2 of the Constitution, and that we must bring reasonable people to government to come and serve the public, they are the people I'm calling. And on that day, they will come and vote. And before that day, they will be spreading the gospel. People will make recording of this interview, and they will spread it to themselves, and they will translate it to their native languages, and we'll continue to educate ourselves so that we shall know the truth, and the truth shall set us free.
Thank you so much, Prince Adewale Adebayo, for spending quality time with us on the show today. That means it's always a big pleasure, having you join us on the show. And hopefully we'll still keep the conversation going. Maybe when the campaign proper starts, then, when we can have you then articulate all of your plans and, strategies ahead of the election. And I also wish you well. Your party are also going forward, the SDP. I also wish you the very best. best, and of course, tremendous success in your endeavors. Your final word, your parting shot before we leave the show today. Speak to Nigerians. Some of them are tired. Some of them don't even have the zeal of the willpower to get involved in politics. Some of them are also scared. They can't travel from point A to point B because they're not sure of their own safety. Speak to those people as you say your goodbye on the show.
First, I thank you for your attention, and I assure you that even before the campaign starts, and voting. We also need to define our citizenship and understand our country. Before I ask anybody to vote for me, I always ask them to appreciate their citizenship. If Nigeria doesn't matter to you, if your citizenship of Nigeria is meaningless to you, if you don't have hope in Nigeria, if you don't have interest in Nigeria, if you don't have belief that Nigeria will be the greatest country in the world, maybe I don't even need your vote. Maybe we need to first believe in ourselves. We need to be committed. We need to know that in this country, I matter, you matter, and that this country belongs to us, and it's a God's greatest gift to us and our generation to come. The food we eat, the land we live on, the water we drink, the name we bear, the culture. I've interacted with President Tinubu, with Atiku, with Twitter. There's nothing special about anybody, including me. We are all ordinary citizens like you. All of us went to secondary school at a time. All of us were looking for a job at a time. We are just the ordinary person like you. The only thing separate is the privilege of serving in government, where they now have made money and they have some paraphernalia of office. So if you value your own citizenship, you can take command of your own country. And then if you don't abuse your to attract money for religious purposes, to push an ethnic agenda, as this engagement must be there. If you use your vote wisely, it is better than all the money contained in the budget of Nigeria. Because when you use your vote wisely, you will now appoint the person who will be in charge of your affairs. You will appoint the person in charge of your health, education, security, employment, finance, justice. Even the judges you have in the court, they are chosen by the president and by the governor. So the quality of president and governor you choose will reflect the kind of quality of judges you have. And will determine whether you have justice when you go to court, whether somebody can steal your land, somebody can rape people in your community and get away with it. The police you have products of the governor and the president, because it's the president and all the governors that form the police council and council of state that appoint police and direct police. So everything that happens, policeman, they rob you on the street instead of protecting you. All of this is tied to the people who appoint them, who supervise them, who direct them, and that is chosen by you. So you don't actually setting up the police for yourself through your vote. You are the one appointing the judges through your vote. You are the one determining whether a custom man will be embarrassing you on the street when you are driving your car, or whether they will run a system where you pay your dues and they leave you alone. Whether you get a job or not, all those people conducting interviews, you are the one appointing them by appointing the people who are appointing them. So let us understand that, and let us keep this conversation going. Have faith in Nigeria. I'm not saying that you should, I'm not a motivational speaker. I am talking to you now from Washington, D.C., in the United States of America. And I can tell you, I cannot wait to return to Nigeria next week. And I'm telling you, every Nigerian I've met here, they know that they are better off if they were in Nigeria. They know that they are better off in Nigeria if we can get Nigeria to be as good as it is written in the Constitution. And the answer to that is how you vote. That your vote is the reason why there's kidnapping. That your vote is the reason why there's pothole. That your vote is the reason why there's unemployment. That your vote is the reason why there's one chance. That your vote is the reason why policemen is beating you up instead of protecting you. That your vote is the reason why your soldiers are dying on the field. Because if our vote had given us a good president, we would have been a good commander-in-chief, and all our problems would have been solved. If our vote had given us good governors, these governors will not now be running to one party, doing the will of one person, trying to use incumbency to suppress the people. They will have been solving our social problem. So I plead with you to understand this and to take your citizenship right seriously and your citizenship responsibility, and let us in this generation put an end to this historic bad luck that we have inherited from our parents. So thank you, and may God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Prince Adewale Adebayo, for finding time to join us on the show today. And I'm not sure if there could be a better parting shot than what you just gave now. We have to own the government and take responsibilities for everything happening around us. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. When you get back to the country, I'm sure, God willing, I'll be able to track you and then get you on the show.
Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, and God bless you too. All right, well, interesting conversation there with the 2027 presidential candidate of the SDP, that's Prince Adewale Adebayo. He was also the candidate of the party in the 2023 election. I think we had a conversation about a year ago, and he gave us that exclusive that he's also going to be aspiring to fight for the ticket of the party in the primaries. Well, he did that, and then God willing, by 2027 he's going to be on the ballots, and then maybe as time goes on we'll also have the platform to interact with everyone that is available within the political space. On Thursday this week, the ADC gubernatorial candidates in Lagos, Gbadebo Rᴏᴏᴜ, will be on the show with me from 4 p.m. on Thursday. We look at Lagos, we look at the political structure in Lagos, the fallout of the primaries of the different political parties, and how optimistic should Lagosians be going into the next election. So don't miss the session on Thursday. Gbadebo Rᴏᴏᴜ, he was the Labour Party governorship candidate in 2023. Of course, he's changed political parties, and he is now the ADC governorship candidate ahead of the next year's election. He will be live in the studio with me on Thursday, all things being equal, and I will have a conversation around leadership, accountability, and responsibility within Nigerian public space. Thank you so much for being a part of the production. Listen, I can't pick calls anymore, and then I can also read your messages. We have loads of them, but apologies, we cannot pick the calls today. Well, tomorrow by 1 p.m. it's midweek politics. Side for and I and Matthew Okodua, and we could get a guest to also help us drive the conversation around safety and security of Nigerians as we prepare for the 2027 election. Once again, I'll keep your dial locked on Mainland 98.3 FM. By 5:30, there's going to be the Mainland FM Global News, and by 6 o'clock, I would also come back to take you through the world of sport. 9 days to the start of the FIFA 2026 World Cup, the first of its kind to be held in 3 different countries: the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Countries have arrived. Unfortunately for Nigeria, for the second time running, we would not be at the World Cup. We're not in Qatar in 2022, and we're not going to be here again. But again, the action continues. You have to join our different political sports shows from our sports updates in the morning, bright and early, 6:30, to sport banter, 12:15 to 1 p.m., and of course on Sports Cruise, so that will give you every details you need to know about the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Next up is Mainland FM Global News. Once again, thank you so much, Prince Adewale Adebayo, the 2023 and 2027 presidential candidate of the SDP, for being my guest on the show today. When I return on Thursday, God willing, Gbadebo Rᴏᴏᴜ will be my guest on the show as well. Keep your dial locked on Mainland 98.3 FM, because we are the sound of Lagos.